A young 6'7", 280-pound, 22-year-old blind man named Achillis has been training against the best gladiators ever in his father's garden. Achilles' father had just recently left town to visit some friends, and his mother went to the farm to pick up some food for dinner. Achilles describes the obstacles him and his two friends faced during the eruption. I see nothing with my eyes, but I can still see the world around me. For days I have felt the tremors. I have felt the air getting thinner, the raindrops becoming heavier, and the storms became more frequent, as if this were to be the last time it would rain. At the time, I did not expect that it would lead up to this. This is why I have been praying every day to the gods and asking them what is going on, and what can I do to stop this? This must not have appealed to the gods, because that's when I felt the earth break and crumble beneath my feet. I ran through the house, out into the street with my fellow gladiators closely following behind me. We were running down the street to the forum as fast as we could, trying to find my mother, while at the same time trying to avoid the massive crowd, when all of a sudden I was the only person running into a massive crowd. So I turned and listened for the deep voices of my comrades. They were struggling to believe their eyes as they called to me and told me that there was a cloud above us that was descending down from the sky. I hear people screaming as the smell of smoke burning and melting flesh fills the air. When they caught up to me, their breathing became shallow, as was many others, constricted, as if a massive snake had wrapped around their throats and just started to squeeze as tight as possible, with no intentions of letting go. When we arrived at the forum, my friends became weaker and weaker as the air got thinner and thinner. They showed me where my mother was because they could not reach her through the boards. When I finally reached her, I saw that she was badly burned on her left arm, and she was stuck underneath a food stand that had collapsed around her. She started to become delirious. She thought that I was a shopkeeper. I bent over to pick my mother up, and when I did, I heard many little voices crying for their mothers. So after I made sure my mother and my two friends made it out safely, I returned to save these little kids. Each kid grabbed my arm, but I could only carry two on each shoulder. So as I maneuvered around the hot lava, I felt the life leave my body. But I had to keep going to save these kids. As soon as the young children were returned to their mothers, I turned and ran as fast as I could. I knew the city was almost destroyed, but I had to save those kids. I remember seeing a crowd behind me yelling, "It's a suicide mission," but none of this mattered to me. All I cared about was saving the other two kids. Tychus was never seen again, and neither of the two children made it out alive. They were later discovered in the same place as the other children had been rescued from, by people who were making tunnels back into the city to retrieve items from their homes. Many speculated multiple scenarios took place that day. Some say he was a god sent down to save lives. Some say he was crushed by a fallen building. Others say he became lost in the chaos and was incinerated by the lava.